Hello everyone, and welcome to the final main season game, and possibly my last game ever with this team. I'm playing against the Jordan, your coach of the Virginia Vikavolts, and an absolutely stellar all-round player. And this has it is a make it or break it match for the VBLS-X, I believe, for both of us, because there are 5 players in the Hall of Pain. And 2 of the players not in the Hall of Pain are paying each other, so it basically comes down to I need to. So if Jordan wins, Jordan's in playoffs. If I win, I'm in playoffs, unless Purple Rain also wins and then knocks me out of playoffs. So there's like, I think a guarantee that one of the 4 and 2 players is going to make playoffs based on if they beat the other player, and then I need to do well enough to steal that 4th slot. Which means not only do I need to beat Jordan, who's also competing for, well, I think technically competing for the 3rd slot, I then also need to like make it in beyond that. So definitely a really challenging game for both of us. Jordan has absolutely insane team. I don't know exactly what happened. Obviously, you know, PokeaimMD was a part of this, but I feel like Jordan wound up with like 4 Pokemon that are better than my best Pokemon. So if we... maybe 4 is a stretch. Scizor is definitely very, very good. It's probably mildly worse than Iron Jugulis. And then like Staraptor and Moltres are also not significantly worse than Iron Jugulis. I think that the Scizor, Staraptor, Moltres are all like probably about as good as Iron Treads. Certainly I think Scizor's a bit better. I think Staraptor's a bit better. Maybe not quite a bit better, but certainly pretty comparable. And then like, you know, maybe Jolteon is a little bit below Salazzle, and then like these 4 Pokemon are all just quite good. So I feel like they have 7 Pokemon, and then in that same sort of vein I have like 3, and that feels very challenging when building. Mimikyu is also like pretty alright, so maybe we could put Mimikyu there. The problem is also that Iron Treads generally doesn't feel very good when you use it. So I went through mocks, and I got completely destroyed. Like, absolutely demolished, yeah. So I made some changes, but they weren't all-consuming, and I'm hoping the changes that I made, even though they were relatively minor, were significant enough to swing the game. They definitely would have changed some of the games in the mocks that I played with Ryan. Thanks a lot to Ryan for that support, and then I've also spoken to a few other coaches for their advice. Foremost among them, Steve at Heaven, who gave me quite a good bit of feedback, but I think I spoke with a few other coaches as well. Yeah, this is not this is not an easy matchup. Jordan's team, on paper, struggles into a lot of things, but like if Ting-Lu is physically defensive, it's not threatened by Bruxish. You know, I think Spadef Moltres easily lives a hit from Rotom to memory. Certainly Dozo with Max Spadef can live one, but it's probably going to use Terra to get out of anyways. And then like offensively, Iron Valiant, I mean, is the fastest Pokemon in the matchup with Booster Energy and just kills my entire team. Jolteon is actually really hard for me to get through, so you know, it may bring Shadow Ball, or it may bring a set that's just hardwalled by Iron Treads, but if it pairs that with support moves, like a potential Fake Tears or Charm, to neutralize the Iron Treads, it doesn't necessarily go particularly well for me. So, at that point, you know, I'm really just in the back, even just from like a turn 1 sort of thing. So here's what comp I have come up with, and it doesn't really have a great answer to Jolteon, but it is kind of what it is. So, this Iron Jugulis has been on and off having Flamethrower, but wound up deciding to have both Tailwind and Protect, as well as the Dual Stab. Dual Stab are pretty good. They don't believe they have a resist to both stabs on the team. No resist to both stabs. Though Air Slash is obviously not as strong as Hurricane. I don't want to miss. I have Booster Energy Iron Treads, so that is speed boosting. To be the fastest Pokemon in the matchup, and it's got Iron Head, Stomping Tantrum, and then Stone Edge for the 2 ground immunities. Kleavor with this Choice Band and Terra Bug should be able to 2-hit KO most on Dozos, and should be able to OHKO if it is Terra Bug, and Kanoko, especially defensive Ting-Lu, but physically defensive, it does like 80 odd too. And then Stone Axes is quite good damage. This is a team which is relatively struggles to switch into Bug because the Stone Axe switch-ins all, the X's ones don't take Stone Axe particularly well, and I do have Aerial Ace specifically to be able to cover Iron Valiant as well as U-Turn for that ability to pivot. Salazzle with Air Balloon, so this can go next to... I used to have Earthquake. I don't have Earthquake anymore. I don't know, maybe it shouldn't be Air Balloon, though it does still give me some utility against potentially Earthquake, but mostly like Stomping Tantrum coming from this individual. Because I wound up dropping Earthquake for Protect. I also wound up dropping Will-O-Wisp for Protect here, so we'll see if I wind up regretting that. Now, British Dentistry. Yeah, this is mostly here for its ability to threaten Ting-Lu, and Dazzling is also sometimes relevant against these two Pokemon, especially if I'm terraying away from Steel type with Iron Treads, then the Bullet Punch can become more of a problem. And then I have Rotom, so the idea was for a Disc-Quake sort of combination here, with the hope being that Rotom would die and then I'd be able to follow up with Salazzle, but I really just wasn't finding Earthquake tempting move to click because I was finding that they was very frequently running into Moltres and Staraptor, and then like Pokemon like Ting-Lu that really just don't care about the Earthquake, and then like the Discharge was plugging into Ting-Lu and Jolteon, so that is why I wound up with the composition that I did. So now let's challenge my gracious opponent, the Jordan. Alright. Game one. Okay, Hatchram. It's interesting, in the mock, they were concerned I would bring Trick Room, which obviously didn't wind up bringing Trick Room, but it certainly seems like my opponent has brought Trick Room. Sorry, was there Sizzler here? No Sizzler. No Jolteon. No Staraptor either. No Swalot. And no Lycanroc. Okay. Just waiting for Jordan to accept game 3. So one Electric Resist. Hello, hello. One Electric Resist. Don't have Crunch, don't have Strong Jaws. Kleavor seems like a relatively difficult Pokemon for... It's your friend. Okay, so yeah, definitely my main temptation is the Soul Jin lead, potentially with Iron Jugulis. So it does live Moonblast and Spirit Break from non-terrored Iron Valiant. It's quite bulky. I think the plan, is the Zul'jin Iron Jugulis. I was going to say, I kind of wish I had Taunt, but then I remembered that Taunt doesn't actually do anything. And then maybe I can bring Bruxish in the back. Salazzle, Bruxish, Rotom. I guess Rotom is annoying for ground move. I don't feel like Iron Tread switches into much. Rotom certainly does some. Do I feel like Fake Out is going to be able to buy me a turn? I certainly do. I certainly do think Fake Out will be able to buy me a turn. Oh, the time has come to realize the Draw's true potential. So I guess the question is, how much is Stone Axe doing in case they Terra Ghost? Not a crazy high amount. So X-Scissor is obviously just stronger than Stone Axe as well as more consistent. I mean, it's definitely suggesting that I should be going for the Dark Pulse Stone Axe double up. Is there a typing they could Terra into which that would be a problem for? Because it looks like Dark Pulse Stone Axe would KO through a Terra Ghost. No, it doesn't. It looks like it wouldn't. It does look like Dark Pulse Stone Axe would, but X-Scissor I think is probably safer. I can Terra Bug as well. I think I'll go for the Terra Bug play. Ah, Terra Fairy! Oh, and they're quite specially defensive as well. So, that was, yeah, very specially defensive, right? A crit for 16. Yeah, definitely I think wound up looking more specially defensive than physically defensive. Well, what are that? X-Scissor damage as well. X-Scissor did 46. So it is max first def. Okay, interesting. Now I can switch Iron Jugulis, or I can protect, or I can just attack. I think maybe just throwing out an Air Slash is okay. I think an Air Slash and X-Scissor are pretty likely to remove Ting-Lu. It's a weakness policy set. Is it going to click Rock Slide? I think it is. It clicked Stone Edge. It did not hit. That's been a lot of my season with Stone Axe. That is rough. It's definitely rough for Jordan. That's rough. I don't know. That means the Ting-Lu is pretty fast, right? Because Hatchram is base 49? Okay, relatively not that fast, right? Okay, at least we are pretty sure that they don't have another, like, this of the same Terra. I kind of want to bring Bruxish in the Kleavor slot and Air Slash the Hatchram. Because it looks like Hatchram, Air Slash will KO Hatchram, and Bruxish may be able to live a random move. That is the specific random move I was thinking of. Dazzling Gleam coming out, Life Dew coming out, okay. I don't feel great about my ability to kill John Jozo at this current point in time. So I am pretty bulky on Iron Jugulis. I think I have to go for the Air Slash and the Protect, and then switch the Kleavor. Switch into Kleavor, or maybe into Salazzle. Maybe I should... No, Salazzle died. I could go for the double protect, but I don't think that is great here. I think I do have to go for the Air Slash and the protect. Oh, Legacy of the Titans will never die. So how do I feel like what do I think wins me the game from this point? I think I am protecting and switching, and then hoping Stone Axe and being able to single target Dozo will KO. I should get some information on that Wave Crash damage. Wave Crash doing 44 to 51. It did 44, so it could be max attack, or it could be bulkier. It did not reveal leftovers, but it certainly doesn't look like it's choice band or anything. So protect and switch in Salazzle is still looking pretty tempting, though having Salazzle with special moves probably is also not a bad option. I could protect and Aqua Jet the Moltres, and I think I'll go for that. How much is Aqua Jet doing to Moltres? Yeah, 40 odd, not bad. How much is Jugulis looking at following up? This is a physically defensive version as well. I could go for the second protect, but that doesn't seem that helpful. Yeah, having Salazzle for the damage into Dozo is definitely helpful. I think second protect is maybe better. Okay. And let's see what comes out. Wave. I guess I should have just Aqua Jetted, right? So the temptation here is definitely to come out and Stone Axe. I don't have Rock Slide. Yeah, I think I'm struggling to put enough pressure into Dondozo if I am not going for... if I don't have Salazzle safe. So I need to be able to target down Moltres. I assume that Dozo doesn't Oko? Yeah, it doesn't. We'll see if we learn about a Sash. I need the Tail End to be faster than Moltres, so that's why I'm going for it. It does look like a Dozo 2-hit KOs. I could go for the damage into Dozo instead. Okay, there's no way it's doing a 98.6, surely. No, I still need Tailwind. I would still need to get through Moltres, which isn't necessarily easy with the remaining Pokemon. Maybe I should have brought out Salazzle. I think this is the play I'm going for, though. Okay. That's looking like another hit is a KO, which is unfortunate. I could Stone Axe the Dozo. Nah, Dark Pulse is good damage. You just need to not Stone Edge miss, like happened earlier. Well, I kind of wish I'd gone for that X as a play, because I'd have the ability to reset my my X scissor as well. Citrus? Okay, cool. That's pretty understandable. Now, I figured it would be that or Covert Cloak. Yeah, GG. Sorry. Well. Not the most impactful Stone Axe miss there. I don't think I lost just from that Dark Pulse flinch, but certainly it didn't make it an easier game for me. There's game 2 up. The game 2 calc deck's up. Alright, good luck. Have fun. Okay, Terra Fairy. Terra Fairy. Oh yeah, there was the crit as well, I guess. I don't know if that wound up being impactful, but certainly if it did, that just feels worse, right? Because they protected Ting-Lu. Yeah, they did. There's the Salazzle option. They wound up leading a lead that feels pretty weak to Salazzle and Zul'jin. So I think I'm tempted to go with that this time. And see how they can best adapt to it. They do have Stone Edge, which is always annoying. Obviously it'd be better if Jugulis wasn't weak to Rock, because then Air Balloon would be able to feel like a better play. Did we get much information on the Moltres besides Air Slash? Air Slash Protect. It may be the Covert Cloak user. Metachamp, I'm Valiant may also be, though I expect I'm Valiant to be booster energy. Alright, let's see what change in play and prep they've gone for this game. It's certainly an interesting situation to be in. I think that game wasn't unwinnable, but certainly was very, very challenging. It would have been, certainly with just the edge miss. Yeah, so I don't know if the flinch wound up changing the game, but certainly it obviously didn't make it easier for Jordan. And certainly that Stone Edge miss was very impactful. But that's why I hate running Stone Edge. How heavy is Ting-Lu? Does it make sense for it to be running potentially Heavy Slam instead? It's very heavy. It's possible it is also running Heavy Slam. But yeah, in my mock, I just kind of got trolled by Jolteon, and it not coming has felt pretty alright. Also, that Terrabug X's. Imagine if it was the X's the crit, you know? As the 46% to the EVLI max defense resist. Hey, it's the thing I said. So I think I immediately want a Terrabug again. And then this time, probably still just X's at the Hatchroom. Because we don't know what the Ting-Lu's Terra is, but we know this isn't Terra Ghost. And I don't think a neutral Stone Edge should be able to KO. Stedge. Okay, it looks like a neutral Stedge actually does KO. That's not great. Okay, so do we think that that Sludge Bomb KOs Dondozo from 38? Looks like we aren't feeling super confident on that fact. It feels like we're not feeling very confident on that fact at all, actually. Because I was with the Fake Out chip as well. But I think I still have to go for the Sludge Bomb and then the X-Scissor. And I may be relying on the Poison to pick it up, or on Wave Crash Recoil. But yeah, maybe I should have gone for the X-Scissor and Ting-Lu. It's only Throat Chop coming when it didn't in the mock. Throat Chop is a pretty good and reliable move. Did you reveal Protect? You did turn 1, yeah. So we haven't seen Protect on Hatchroom. I think it may have gone for it there, and I probably should have played around it. Though I think its last move is likely Psychic, since they didn't go for Dazzling Gleams in front of Jugulis. Okay, Ting-Lu's gone. Now this is a challenging position to be in. Because there's no way Zul'jin is living Moltres. I do have Jugulis, but I don't think I can switch it in particularly freely. Do I think it's faster? So I'm like near max speed, but they should really be faster than Zul'jin. Like, I'm very threatening to them and they're very threatening to me. So I think I go for the Sludge Bomb still. And I think I have to switch in British Dentistry again. They may throw an Air Slash into the slot, which obviously wouldn't be great for me. Okay, I did pick up, so they didn't have those 20 special defense EVs that the thing in Calc said they had. So temptation is definitely to Wave Crash and Sludge Bomb. The question is, am I putting both of them into Hatchroom, or am I mixing them up? We have seen Protect from Moltres. So I think Sludge Bomb is always going into Hatchroom. I don't think we're particularly concerned that Wave Crash wouldn't KO, though it could not KO if they Terra. I could Sludge Bomb, but I kind of expect them to Trick Room here. So I think I just want to get as much damage on... No, okay, they did go for Terra. Let's see what they went for. Obviously they go for... Oh, Terra Cross Blast, and then Psychic. Trick Room. Okay, so still Trick Room. So we'll see now if the Moltres is slower than Kleavor, and if it is, I guess it should have stayed in instead of switching. So Sludge Bomb this slot, and X-Scissor this slot. Don't see a reason to U-turn. Does Hatchroom Psychic to a KO? It doesn't look like it does unless they get the special defense drop. Maybe I should switch as well. Is the other potential. consideration that I hadn't necessarily considered explicitly. I do need to just put the damage into Moltres, so I'm going to double it, because it also protected last turn. Yeah, and Psychic, not a surprising fourth move there. Yeah, the banded Terra Bug, definitely, okay, so they are slower. I think I need to throw the... I actually don't know if I can beat Hatchram because of Life Chew. I need to throw the S-Slash into Moltres regardless. Because even with the next Life Chew, it shouldn't live. And no, it should live. But I need to, like, I mean, I need to be putting damage into that slot, right? They should just Life Chew and Flamethrower here. $64, 76 to 64. So if I still wouldn't have gotten a KO with the same roll. And now I need to go for the flinch, which is the S-Slash is the highest odds on flinch. Wait, I have Dark Pulse. I could have Dark Pulse. They're not Terra Grass. Sorry, they're not Terra. I should have Dark Pulsed the Hatchram slot. Probably this turn. But definitely this turn. I forgot they weren't Terra Fairy. That's a mistake on my end. It's quite a big mistake. 34. I do still have my Citrus Berry. Oh, okay, that picked up. Awesome. Cool. Cool. And then certainly the Dark Pulse. Oh, that's right. It does 4 times as much damage when it's not resisted. Okay. Yeah. Gosh, Jordan's team is very strong. I was... Okay. Alright. Yes, sorry, I need to save the replays. And the last one here. There we go. And there's the paste, and I'll also pass Jordan mine, though yeah, I believe he's got a lovely dinner out with the missus coming up, so won't be able to do much there. So yeah, Moltres was the Covert Cloak. It's Eviolite. We did see that. So Terra Blast Water, so being the Terra Steel set, wound up not being particularly, being Terra Ground to avoid my Steel weaknesses, did not wind up being a particularly powerful move. Wound up being quite bulky. The Ting-Lu, certainly quite bulky. The offensive-ish Dondozo. I don't know what was going on in that Salazzle calc, because it said that it shouldn't be doing as much damage as it did, but it certainly did the damage. Yeah, I'm definitely really big fan of the Terrabug Kleavor set that I brought this game. Yeah, obviously Moltres wound up being slower than the Captain. I was considering on this turn, and I guess I hadn't said it explicitly, because when I said Moltres might Terra this turn, I was thinking that then means I could Sludge Bomb and Wave Crash that slot instead. But I didn't feel like I could reliably play around like Protect there, which was my main concern. Yes, Iron Jugulis wound up being, quite good. Not bringing a lot of the very scary Pokemon, but certainly bringing a number of them. It's just that Jordan's team had so many very scary Pokemon. One thing that was really a problem for me in the mock was Staraptor's Intimidate, so not having that really allowed not only Kleavor, but also Bruxish to really, be able to exert that offensive pressure. I certainly think I probably still should have Aquajetted the Moltres on the turn I went for the double protect. But, you know, especially because it probably would have felt really bad if I'd gotten the double protect as well. But yeah, also just having that damage would have been nice. I could have considered going for Aerial Ace, though I don't know that I could have gone for Aerial Ace. Into Moltres. That's when it's Terra Grassed. Yeah, no, I would still have been going for Stone Axe, but yeah. So yeah, definitely been a quite the fun game too. They brought a really different set to what I brought in Mox, but the Mox, one of the main outcomes of them was bringing a lot more Protects. I actually did not use Protect on Salazzle at all, so even against Trick Room. Because the Pokemon I brought Protect on that I hadn't had before was Iron Treads. I did bring Tailwind, but that Tailwind only wound up not letting me know whether I was faster than Moltres or not. It's not surprising that it was slow, obviously being on a Tailwind team. Oh, it was decent speed. I think I ran speed for something Adamant or Modest. I just would have to Control Z to see what was on the team. No, I think I just ran speed for Lycanroc. So yeah, Modest Moltres wound up being in that spot where I couldn't know if it was faster than me or out of Trick Room. I guess I should have gotten their guess that it was faster than me out of Trick Room, though for all they knew I could still have been Adamant. But yeah, definitely the Power Range is ending the season, and I will still not know if I have made playoffs or not, because it depends on whether Purple Rain wins against Tay, I think? Is it Ryan against Richweave? I'm actually going to check this. So you may be getting more standard VBL content. Certainly you'll be getting a bunch of Content Week content coming up, because it is Content Week coming up. And I've got players locked down for my season in review. No, leaderboards is not what I'm looking for, even though it is very powerful. The Mimikyu being picked up and then immediately going to kill leaders. So yeah, all of these players in the Hall of Pain. These two players playing each other. I believe it's Ryan versus Weave and Tay versus Purple Rain, but I would need to double check the schedule for that. No, Ryan against Purple, and then Richweave against Tay. Certainly Tay has been absolutely on the tear. No, on a tear, not on the tear. But possibly also on the tear. Who, you know, if Tay has been on the tear, more power to him. But yeah. Just a very difficult team, and certainly a team I think that a lot of players in Landorus Division are kind of happy not to see in playoffs. Yeah, certainly happy not to see in playoffs. And yeah, it comes down to Purple Rain's results to see whether I make playoffs, because we've knocked Jordan out, and then I guess I make it over. Yeah, I make it under Richweave and under Ryan, because they've both beaten me, and I think they may have better who's hits and whatnots. So has Ryan always just been locked? Or no, I think it's probably like some complicated. There's too much maths involved sometimes, you know? Too much maths involved. But there was someone who already did the maths, so I'm going to pull the maths up. And so if Purple Rain loses, then Ryan makes it in. Oh. In with a win, or doing a better Week 7 result than Witch Reef, or Jordan and Electric going to Game 3. I think that was for Jordan not being able to knock Ryan out. I don't know that I can knock Ryan out, but if I did, maybe a bit rough. And that's assuming that Ryan loses to Tay, which is by no means a given. Yeah, I've got to win, and then I need to have a better Week 7 result than Purple Rain. Now that is very possible. Both of these would, it was two, so both of these, I only have one Pokemon left this game, that's right. Maybe I should have just gone for the Sludge Bomb play. Sludge Bomb probably isn't KOing though. Then again, I have more special attack, and I think, well, certainly more investment. And I'm clicking a stronger move than Air Slash. So if we look at the Terra Moltres, yeah, Sludge Bomb wouldn't have KO'd, but the double up with Wave Crash surely would have. Yeah, it does look like it would have. And that's even, like, seeing this bulky spread. It's quite, yeah, Jordan certainly did a lot of really good work on their EVing this game, and then my EV Delight of Jugulis did manage to clinch out the game, so that investment wound up working out. It was really annoying how, so we had Moltres, 1 speed point below Rotom, and then Rotom 1 speed point below Bruxish, so I didn't really feel like any flexibility, and then I had Salazzle with Iron Valiant 1 speed point below it as well. Basically always running booster energy, but I didn't feel confident committing around that, especially because I may be able to pressure it to switch and then come back in, and then in the situation where it's come back in, then I'd be able to put more of that, I'd be able to be faster than it. But yeah, certainly the Banded Zul'jin didn't even need Adamant. Look at that beautiful dozo damage this game. X-Scissor. Thundurus took 84% from a physical move. What a beautiful Pokemon. I think I wound up tearing it both games, right? But the damage is just... so that obviously this isn't a physically defensive. No, this just the math doesn't make sense. It always says maths, and then the maths never makes sense. I don't understand how sometimes it seems very reliable, and sometimes it seems very unreliable. But yeah, definitely, yeah, really happy with how Zul'jin performed. I heard... Okay, so I don't know if this is an implementation problem just on Showdown. In his latest video, at the time of recording, and it may not even have been the latest, it may have been the previous one, WolfeyVGC mentioned that X-Scissor wasn't a slicing move, which it certainly seems like it is, and that Lunge was, which it also certainly seems like it wasn't, because X-Scissor is sharpness boosted and Lunge isn't. Now, X-Scissor is one of those moves that feels like it should have a high crit rate, but it doesn't, so you know what, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely clicking both Stone Axe and X-Scissor in a game. Stone Axe, man. I was so worried. And then I did wind up missing this Stone Axe, but it wasn't as important as this Stone Axe. Rock moves. Physical rock moves are an absolute delight. And yeah, with that, I'm in playoffs. I don't think I can even predict where in playoffs I'm sitting. Which is just science. Definitely science and possibly mathematics. So I'll be somewhere in here. I think I am coming in either 3rd or 4th, depending a lot on the outcomes of these games, which to my knowledge have not been played yet. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of content I want to get into in Content Week. Definitely leave a comment down below if you would have any ideas or something we'd like to do, or anything you'd like to see me talk about. And that should be all for this week. I thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye.